How is it going, guys? I'm SuperRebel and today we are going to be talking about Ubisoft and what I think they should not do this year so that it doesn't turn out like last year. Now don't forget, these are all just opinions as well, and I did ask you guys on Twitter to share your opinions with me about Ubisoft, so we are also going to be going through that as well, which is going to be pretty awesome. And if you don't already follow me on Twitter, then be sure to follow me. There is a link in the description below. It's just a great way to keep up to date with stuff and all that good stuff, and yeah, without further ado, let's just continue right into today's video. So last year wasn't exactly Ubisoft's best year, but regardless they still did have a pretty decent year. But with that said, they did have their ups and downs, and the main reason for this was probably due to the amount of games they were putting out there. For example, firstly we had Watch Dogs, and I'm not gonna lie, that was a pretty cool game, and if I had to rate it on a scale 1 to 10, I'd probably give it an 8. But the point is, with this game, after you play the campaign and played a few games with your friends, it got pretty boring. But that's just my opinion, but I think it died out pretty quick. The game lasted for about a month or two, and if you guys remember clearly, it didn't release straight away for the Wii U either. In fact, it actually did release not too long ago for the Wii U, and it barely got any sales. So as you guys can see there, straight away, that's a big downfall for Ubisoft. But when they did release this game on consoles, I'm not gonna lie, it did get a ton of sales, and I'm not surprised because like I said to you guys, it was a really cool game, but I really do wish they had just done so much more to it, like updated it with DLCs and all that good stuff, because it wouldn't have died out so quickly. So firstly, that was a big mistake that I think Ubisoft made back in 2014, and that's something that I hope they don't do with any of the games this year. Now of course after that we had Assassin's Creed Unity, Assassin's Creed Rogue, Far Cry 4 and The Crew, and I think a few others to kinda get excited for and hope that they kinda redeem themselves from Watch Dogs, but that wasn't exactly the case. Now going over to Twitter, I asked you guys, like I said at the beginning of the video, to tweet me your thoughts about Ubisoft and what you don't want them to do this year. Now the main game that you guys mentioned was Assassin's Creed Unity and just the Assassin's Creed series in general. So firstly we had Christian who said, I want Ubisoft to take their time, to give developers more time and the polish rather than to announce delays. Now I completely agree with Christian, but this is something that did happen with Assassin's Creed Unity. It was delayed so it can be polished, but even then it was still kinda glitchy. Then we had Kinetic who said, put enough time into making Assassin's Creed instead of doing it every year, and this is something that I really wish Ubisoft will stop doing, because if you guys didn't already know, after Assassin's Creed Unity was released, the new Assassin's Creed game was leaked literally in the same week, and it's going to be called Assassin's Creed Victory. And there were screenshots and everything for it, so it's definitely in development and it does look pretty cool. But the main question is it going to turn out like Assassin's Creed Unity, where it looks super good but when it's actually released it's going to be kinda buggy? Well, going back to the tweets, we had Camrock who said, make less buggy games, and in Assassin's Creed, make co-op campaign. Then we had Gerald who said, stop with all that Uplay shit. Then we had Hunter who said, they need to stop rushing some of their best series, for example Assassin's Creed, and again, this is something that I strongly agree with, because it is definitely without a doubt one of their best series, but the rate they are going now, I feel it's probably not going to last that long, because eventually they are going to run out of ideas, whereas if they were to release a new Assassin's Creed game every 2 or 3 years, I could understand that because it will last longer and they have more time to polish the game up and add more ideas and all that good stuff. Then we had Bogan who said, I want them to make their game look as good as the trailer, and I think Far Cry 4 and Assassin's Creed Unity did do this, especially if you take away the bugs from Assassin's Creed Unity. It was a great looking game overall, and Far Cry 4 definitely was like the trailer. Well, not exactly like the trailer, but you guys understand what I mean, it did live up to the hype. Then we had Eden who said, quit copying and pasting games like Far Cry 3 and 4 and quit overhyping games like Assassin's Creed Unity. Now first of all, with Far Cry 3 and 4, I heard a lot of people saying that it was a copy and paste, but I'm going to disagree with this a little bit, because if you think about it, it was a completely different map, it was a lot denser, there were so many different cool things that we could try out that we couldn't in Far Cry 3, and of course the story as well. Then the co-op, it was a lot of fun, but I kinda get what you mean when you say copy and paste, but I don't exactly fully agree with it. Now with Assassin's Creed Unity, like I said again, it would have lived up to the hype and I still think it did, but where there were loads of glitches and stuff, a lot of people kinda backed away from the game. And then lastly, we had George, who said, used to love Ubisoft, but can they be trusted? And this is the main thing that a lot of people feel now, is can they trust Ubisoft, considering what happened last year? Now the trust issues are going to be super strong this year, and the main reason I am saying this is because we have a really anticipated game coming up from them, which is Tom Clancy's The Division. And I was speaking to a really good friend of mine the other day, Ubi Central, and we both agreed that if they screw up on this game and they release it with loads of bugs and stuff, they are going to lose their reputation quite a lot. So in other words, this is Ubisoft's chance to redeem themselves from last year. Now so far the gameplay for this game does look really smooth and cool, and then the trailer just looks super awesome and the screenshots as well, but this game has already been delayed and we still unfortunately haven't got an official release date, but it is set to be releasing this year, and we are still continuing to get trailers, information, screenshots and all that good stuff, so now we can only wait and hope that they don't screw up with this game. So dear Ubisoft, please don't screw up with Tom Clancy's The Division, and please slow down the Assassin's Creed series before it dies out, because this is a series that we all love and we don't want to see it go down the drain. Now this was not a hate video towards Ubisoft in any way, because they are really cool guys, but I just wanted to share my thoughts and throw it out there, because I really do not want to see it mess up their games this year, because their games are super cool, but where there's loads of glitches and stuff, they get bad reviews and it just really sucks. So with that said, that does unfortunately bring today's video to an end. As always, if you guys could leave a like on the video, that'd be absolutely amazing. And if you missed yesterday's video, we did have one about Tom Clancy's The Division, because we did receive a new screenshot, and before that we had a Just Cause 3 one as well, but there will be links to both of them down in the description below. And if you guys are new around here, then please do go ahead and hit that big red subscribe button down below if you would like to stay up to date with more open world game news from Tom Clancy The Division and a ton more. That'd be absolutely amazing, and I'll love you guys forever. And with that said, I'll catch you guys in the next video, but until then, as always, I hope you're having yourselves a super awesome day, and stay awesome, stay beautiful, and adios amigos.